Today, the boys have 1 hour in an experimental technique challenge to create the perfect American pancake.
We've given the guys the same ingredients, so success in this challenge will depend entirely on the techniques that they use.
Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go!
I'm getting a pan slowly warming up because by the time I want to be cooking these pancakes, I want an even temperature throughout the pan.
Do not start heating your pan until you've made your batter.
Yes, this is exactly what I need.
Rubbish!
Your batter needs to rest for about 5 to 10 minutes to let the gluten start to form.
Rubbish, straight in the pan.
No, I like Jamie's answer, but I would also say your pan will probably take 5 to 10 minutes to heat up evenly, so I think it's kind of, you're both right.
This is where my experimentation starts. I'm using plain flour, baking powder, sugar, whole milk, and I'm separating my eggs to whip up the white for my raising agent. I do have some self-raising flour in my back pocket in case the egg whites don't give me the rise I want. Just for clarity, the self-raising flour is not actually in my back pocket. That was a metaphor. One of the other tips that I saw was to make sure that all of your ingredients are at room temperature. So I'm just trying to relay this egg.
I was going to say, traditionally it would be sat on to get the same effect.
Yes.
But his back pocket's full of raising agent. You've gone for technological assistance.
I have, but hand whisk for the batter. Literally just want the ingredients to come together just about, and then I'll fold in my egg whites so they're all fluffy. That's now going to rest for about 5 minutes. Now is a perfect time to turn on my pan, and in the meantime, I'm going to melt some butter in the microwave.
No butter in the batter. No lacing.
No lacing.
So I'm starting off with the wet ingredients first. I've cracked in 200 ml of milk, a whole egg. I'm not separating my whites, I'm not whisking my whites. I'm going in with some buttermilk as well. I've got laced butter throughout it. Buttermilk, it's slightly acidic, which therefore reacts well with the bicarb and therefore gives you bubbles as it gives off carbon dioxide. So I'm hoping that gives me my bubbles rather than the egg whites.
What's happened?
So you are using a chemical raising agent. Jamie is using a physical one.
I don't know if this is going to work, if I'm honest. But we'll go for it. Barely any whisking to bring it together. Minimal resting.
We do pancakes every single year. This year, Pancake Day has kind of crept up on me.
Oh my God.
Yes, Evers. We've got full role reversal. They're getting scientific and Evers is bringing the humour.
Oh no.
Just don't rise to it.
The odds are stacked against them.
They might flip a couple of times. That was good. Well done, sir.
Bearing in mind, this is the first round of pancakes. We're just getting a feel for it. If to say these do burn slightly, don't judge me. I have more chances to get it right later on.
We're going to judge your stack at the end, but I'm also judging your choice of ingredients, your choice of method, your process, your technique, and everything along the way. This is a technique challenge. How are you serving yours? We don't want you to reinvent the wheel here, but a nice, simple, classic serving would be lovely. We have given you some citrus, some rhubarb, but equally, if you just wanted butter, icing sugar, maple or honey, that's fine.
I think I'm a maple syrup and butter person. I'm happy with the rise of mine. Not so happy with the shape. Nicely fluffy, super buttery, because I've got loads of lace and with buttermilk.
Approaching halfway through, and Barry is deciding to get a second opinion on his first batch.
Kush.
Kush doesn't think they're good, Baz. I think you've got work to do.
I think he's tasting raw flour.
I've got to change something.
Yeah.
You haven't got to, if you've absolutely nailed it. I'm pretty sure you haven't. There's a wonderful rise from Jay's, and a beautiful colour that looks pretty even.
I've got the fluff that I wanted. What I need to make sure is that inside the structure is actually what it needs to be.
Is that I'm happy face?
I can't see it.
I've got the rise, but inside it's a bit too dense. So what I'm thinking is the pan does need to be slightly lower so that it cooks all the way through.
We did say a stack of pancakes. We didn't specify how many in a stack, but I think it's got to be at least 2 or more.
No, I'd say a stack is 3. 2 is a sandwich.
3's a club sandwich.
Are you doing a second batch, Jay, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Oh, it's all kicking off now.
Right, for batch 2, I'm keeping most of it the same, but this time I've added a bit of salt to counteract the sweetness and some melted butter to lace the mixture and keep the pan dry.
So I was disappointed by the rise of my first pancake mixture, so for my second batch, I'm going to be adding more bicarb and more sugar, as I didn't think they were sweet enough.
Oh, what?
I didn't put my butter in the wet stuff. Oh no!
And now you're gonna beat again?
Really quickly. Might be a mistake, might have screwed that.
What I would say is it's a lovely smooth batter compared to Jamie's more lumpy but less whisked batter.
We talked about my irregular shape and that my pancakes weren't a good shape either. So I'm going to try a ring cutter.
So do you just go straight in, or do you need to grease that? Oh, am I helping?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that until right about now.
How long left?
16 minutes. And none of you have yet done anything to go with it. We've given you some lovely rhubarb.
No, rhubarb's not part of a technique. Just had a thought. What's my technique for flipping? I think I have to keep the pancake in the ring cutter and flip the ring cutter, which will flip the pancake. Or do I take the ring cutter off, risk it, I don't know what's best.
How's that going for you, Jay?
Much like my trousers, the belt is keeping everything in. When you take the belt off, it gives the opportunity for everything in to come out. So I've reapplied the ring cutter, the belt in this analogy, and I'm going to flip everything. Right, we've had a great result, but also a terrible result at the same time. The top, which is now the bottom, is not cooking at all because it's not on the pan.
But I'm so glad that he has used a ring cutter, because this is fantastic.
There's nothing wrong with the ring cutter. I just don't understand the turning it upside down so that it's now 4 inches from the pan.
No, it's not now.
Are you going to sear the sides, Jay? How's your confidence, Baz?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm gonna do a stack of 6.
Should we tell him about the flour on his face?
Mine look more like brioches.
Mine look like crumpets. I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm loving this.
Of course you are. You're on the side.
2.5 minutes.
It's all riding on these boys.
What are you doing, Jay? You're doing a butter and maple syrup mix.
Yes, and obviously a shot of whiskey.
I'm serving these how I'd serve them at home, with a bit of maple syrup on the side.
Jay, you've got 18 seconds. Which ones are you going with?
I don't know!
Last 5 seconds. 4,
What's he
3,
going for? What's he going for?
2, 1. Jay, which ones are you submitting?
Nice.
Risky, but I like it.
What would you say if we ran a competition where you and a friend could come down to our central London studio and watch us film an episode of Sorted Food live? Plus, you'll get lunch cooked by Kush and get to eat it with the Sorted crew. Sound good? All you've got to do is
cook just 3 meals from our Sidekick app and send us the photos, whilst everyone around you wonders how you became a chef overnight. And cook along with us live in our home kitchens every week. You can ask Ben all your chefy questions, and let's level up our cooking together.
I am very excited. Should we start with Jamie's?
Yep. They are thicker than any American pancake I've ever seen. And you can see not quite cooked in the middle. But let's try them. Let's taste them.
Cakey, I would say.
Cakey.
More of the cake part of pancake. You've got an amazing rise on them, like amazing rise. And I think that comes down to the beating of the egg whites.
No, see, I think the egg whites were overbeaten. So they began to lose their structure and were a bit too stiff. So when you actually fold them through, you lose the air in the batter. All that means is they eat quite dry. When you beat your egg whites, you overbeat them and they began to almost separate and you lose that floppy, glossy airiness. And then because they're so thick, you don't get to cook through to the middle without overcooking the outside and drying that out. So it's quite a chew and quite an uncomfortable eat.
But
But hey, they're all very uniform.
Right, let's move on.
Sight alone, these look more like American pancakes, although they've got the mottleness of like a crepe. But I quite like the fact that they are Not wholly irregular, but more, I would say, pancakey. Again, if anyone gave you either stack, I'm sure with lots of syrup and yogurt or cream, you'd love them. We are picking at the tiny things here.
Can definitely taste butter.
They're buttery, they're much softer. They're not chewy. They're quite wet. That's the only thing.
You got the rise in the pan, didn't you?
The
Like,
flavour
it
is
came
great.
out.
Again, they're very even in colour. I like the mottled effect. They're less regular than Jamie's, but I think they're more accustomed to an American pancake.
Next time, I'm not convinced by the buttermilk. I'd be tempted to leave it out and put in a whipped
milk.
egg whites instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd say flavour-wise, they taste great. They taste like a pancake. Texture-wise, yeah, they're they're not soggy, they just taste a bit greasy.
Yeah.
I think is how I'd describe it. Do you want to come in and try them?
Yeah.
Interesting possible pan choice from you. If you were doing 3 of them, you were kind of putting them into the pan and they were almost moving away because the pan wasn't flat bottomed. They were easing away from you, not giving you a huge amount of chance to get even cooking. Whereas Jay, you're using a much flatter, more even surface of a pan, which means you get more consistency.
It's very cakey, isn't it?
It's a delicious cake made in a pan. This is very delicious.
Butter maple whiskey.
Very, very delicious.
Very naughty.
For me, once you understand really what each element of the pancake is doing, you can then start to play. Like, I didn't realise it was the reaction between the buttermilk and the bicarb that gave me the bubbles before doing this, and that's what made me want to try this one and give it a go.
So what's the difference between bicarb and baking powder, and how are they activated?
Bicarbonate of soda is just the base or the alkali, so therefore needs liquid to start doing anything, but it also needs an acid. In this case, buttermilk. It could also happen with lemon juice or the like. Baking powder has both acid and alkali in dry form, so all it needs is liquid and they already activate themselves. So if you're using self-raising flour, that usually has baking powder in it.
Pancakes are really, really simple to make. Making them perfectly isn't easy.
No.
And I think to have the opportunity to spend a day going, right, here is my simple pancake recipe. I'm going to now change this element for this element. I think is a really fun thing to do, and you could do that each time you make them, whether that's once a week or once a month or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to make a bad pancake.
And once you cover it in delicious maple syrup, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Yep, we've probably all got like a favourite pancake recipe. We'll link to a few of ours down below, tried and tested. We'd also love to hear what is your go-to, what's your trusted recipe?